today we have with us Romil. He is an exchange student from France. Romil, welcome to our campaign that involves promoting sporting culture within campuses.
My pleasure.
Yeah. So today we'll be getting his perspective because he has seen both India as well as France. So we'd like to try to cover his perspectives on how much appreciation sports gets in general in these two different countries and try to get his inputs on the same. So Romil, just to start with, what are the main difference points that you see in France and in India in terms of the sporting enthusiasm that's there, the promotion of the sports that happens? What's your take?
Right. First of all, I would like to make a point that there is a great difference in which the way sports is seen in these two different countries, in these two different geographies. As in, for instance, you talked about France or Western Europe. I would combine Western Europe as a single entity, and I would like to make a point that their sporting culture is part of their routine life, right? Partly because it's on the priority by the government, and here in India you see that it's not given that much focus by the government in India. Secondly, you look at the priority within the family. I mean, the sports scene is not seen as a culture part of the Indian society.
It's not very appreciated.
It's not very appreciated in the, for example, in Indian families, what you see, if the only teaching that children are given, padhoge likhoge to banoge mahan, and that's it. That is what their focus is. If I as a student, I'm good, I am given recognition, I am praised in the society, but if I'm good in sports and not good in studies, it's not looked with good eyes. So that's a great difference. A third difference, as I said, in my first point, that sport culture is part of their daily routine. So here what you see, first of all, I would segment India into elite class is so much prone to convenience that for short distances like 1 kilometer, 1.5 kilometers, I need a rickshaw, tuk-tuk. And therefore, in contrast, if you go to France, the municipality there has a clear agenda that making city green. And as part of that, every city, not every city, but any two-tier, at least a two-tier city, 1-tier and 2-tier cities have bicycles installed across the Europe, Western Europe specifically, where citizens are required and they use it for short distances. They have different plans, and it's very much part of their public transportation system, which is environmentally efficient, makes them fit, and
so even in terms of policy implementations, there is an inherent push for promoting something that's healthy. That's the part of their culture. Just one more question. That in terms of the facilities, the sports facilities, the infrastructure, what's the difference that you perceive in let's say I am Ahmedabad and EDHEC in France?
Now you're comparing to elite business schools of the different countries. In that sense, there's not much difference in the sporting facilities, the infrastructure. In fact, fine, I am Ahmedabad, the infrastructure is equally good, except there is no swimming pool there. You have an Olympic-sized swimming pool. But then that is not an issue. Like some of these facilities you have here might not be there, like cricket ground or something. But that's a cultural thing. Like swimming is not given that much of importance in India as much as cricket is given. Or cricket is the most important sport here, if at all it is a sport. Secondly, I'd like to make a point that beyond the campuses, the elite campuses, if you take my undergraduate school in India and the undergraduate two-tier university in France, there is the difference. There is a lot of difference when you compare these sporting facilities. This is across almost all the institutes in France. That is not the case in India. The third point is, if you go to the community level in the societies, in the 3-tier cities, mid-tier cities, you won't find, community-based sporting facilities, which exist in Europe, especially in France. So that is where the difference is. That is how, sporting is a culture. It's a habit which has to be inculcated
exactly
right from the beginning. of the development of a child, which is not being so developed, which is not being so pushed in India. So that is the key difference.
Well, we got a lot of inputs from Romil. So as we got to see, as we got to contrast the two different cultures, that's the Indian culture as well as the French culture in terms of the appreciation of sports, the kind of image that a person is associated with being a sportsman.
I would like to make a point here, like
Yeah,
sporting culture has to be pushed right from the beginning, right from the childhood.
Exactly.
The mindset has to change here. Right? I mean, I talk about myself, like I was suffering from obesity. Not a suffering, I myself was an obese before going to France. I mean, I can give you a photograph just to show a contrast. And now you see me like, you know, you start getting a feel of complex. Oh, you are not fitting right in the society. There is a vacuum. So I've realized that thing, okay, now if I have to get in France, I have to look in career. This is something like even the companies would not look in the right way at me if I, yeah, exactly. So that has to come in the mindset.
It's true.
Yes, yes.
So yes, as rightly said, sports has to be inculcated right at the grassroots level in order to see a big impact in the country, in India's sporting culture, particularly in the elite class, as again mentioned by Romil. So thank you, Romil. Thanks a lot for being a part of our campaign, and let's see how much we can push it further. Thanks.